Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the show. I'm so excited for today's episode. Do you want to become more fluent and confident in English? Do you want the words to flow out of your mouth naturally and without effort? Today, we are breaking away from traditional methods and practicing English in an absolutely natural way. This listening practice session will take your vocabulary, your pronunciation, and your confidence to a whole new level. You won't have to search for grammar rules in your head anymore. So, are you ready to start your fluency journey? Let's dive into today's conversation.
Welcome back, everyone. We are diving deeper today. Alex, before the break, you mentioned something called shadowing. To be honest, it sounds a bit like being a ghost. Can you explain what this really is? And why is it so important for my mouth muscles?
It is not about being a ghost, Julia, but it is about being a shadow. Think about how you learned your first language. You didn't study a book. You watched your parents' mouths. You copied their sounds, their energy, and their rhythm. Rule number 6 is shadowing for rhythm. You listen to a native speaker and you repeat what they say, almost at the same time. You don't wait for them to finish the sentence.
Wait, that sounds really fast. If I repeat while they are still talking, won't I get confused? My brain already feels like it is running a race.
It feels fast at first because your mouth muscles are stiff. English uses different muscles than your native language. If you only read English, your mouth never learns how to move. Shadowing is like a gym workout for your tongue and lips. Do not worry about the words. Focus on the music of the sentence. Where does the voice go up? Where does it go down? Where is the pause?
So I'm acting like an actress in a movie?
Exactly. Imitate the emotion. If the speaker sounds angry, you sound angry. If they sound excited, you be excited. This is how you break the robot voice. Most learners sound like robots because they give every word the same weight. But English is about stress. We push some words and we hide others. Shadowing teaches you which words to hide.
That is a huge secret. I always tried to say every single word perfectly, and it made me sound so unnatural. Okay, I will start shadowing my favorite movie characters. I'll be back.
Maybe start with something a bit more conversational than the Terminator. But yes, that's the spirit.
Let's move to rule number 7. This is something I struggle with every day. Grammar. Oh my goodness, Alex. The rules are so confusing. Present perfect, past continuous. When does it end? Do I really need to master all of them to be easy with English?
Here's the truth, Julia. Rule number 7 is grammar is a map, not the journey. Most students spend all their time staring at the map, but they never take the car out of the garage. You do not need to master every rule to start speaking. In fact, native speakers make grammar mistakes all the time.
They do? Really? I thought they were perfect.
Not at all. We use gonna, wanna. We forget the S at the end of words sometimes in fast speech. The goal of language is connection. If I tell you, yesterday I go to market, do you understand me?
Yes, I know you went to the market yesterday.
Then the goal is achieved. Grammar should be just-in-time learning, not just-in-case learning. Don't study a rule just because it's in the book. Study a rule because you tried to say something and you realized you didn't know how. That makes the rule stick in your brain because you actually needed it.
Just-in-time learning. That changes everything. It means I can start speaking today and I only look at the grammar book when I get stuck.
Precisely. Think of grammar like the salt in a meal. A little bit makes it better. Too much and you can't eat it. Focus on the meat of the language, which is vocabulary and chunks. Add the grammar salt later.
Okay, salt and meat. I am getting hungry for English. Now, Alex, let's talk about rule number 8. This is about consistency. I have many friends who study for 5 hours on Sunday and then they don't touch English for the rest of the week. Is that a good way to learn?
That is the worst way to learn, Julia. Rule number 8 is the power of 15. Your brain is like a muscle, but it is also like a leaky bucket. If you pour 5 hours of water in once a week, most of it leaks out by the next Sunday. But if you put a little water in every day, the bucket stays full.
So, 15 minutes a day is better than 5 hours a week? Truly?
Without a doubt. Your brain needs frequency. It needs to be reminded that English is important. When you study every day, even for a short time, you are telling your brain, hey, we need this tool tomorrow. Don't forget it. This builds neural pathways. It makes the language part of your identity, not just a task on your to-do list.
But Alex, I am so busy. I have work, I have family, I have chores. Where do I find these 15 minutes?
You find them in the dead time. Time spent waiting for the bus. Time spent washing the dishes. Time spent in the shower. You don't need a desk and a lamp to practice English. You can listen to a podcast while you cook. You can speak to yourself while you get dressed. English should be like your phone, always with you, in your pocket.
I like that. Dead time into living time. I can definitely find 15 minutes while I make my morning coffee. Let's talk about rule number 9. This one feels a bit scary. Speaking to others. Every time I see a native speaker, my heart starts beating so fast. I feel like I'm going to forget my own name. How do I handle that fear?
That fear is natural, Julia. It is the fight or flight response. Your brain thinks the conversation is a tiger that might eat you. Rule number 9 is control the pace. If you feel nervous, you probably start speaking too fast, and then you make mistakes, and then you get more nervous. It's a circle.
Yes, that is exactly what happens to me.
You must break the circle. Take a slow breath. Speak slower than you think you need to. Pausing is your best friend. When you pause, it gives you time to think, and it makes you sound more confident. Also, use fillers.
Fillers? Like and
Yes, but English fillers. Say well. Actually, let me see. That is an interesting question. These give you 3 or 4 seconds of extra time. To the other person, you just sound like a natural speaker thinking about an answer. But inside, your brain is working hard to find the right words.
That is an interesting question. I'm going to use that every time someone asks me something. It gives me a safe zone.
It really does. And remember, the person you are talking to is usually very kind. They are happy that you are trying to speak their language. They are not your judge. They are your partner.
We are back, and I am feeling so much more powerful now. Alex, we have covered mindset, chunks, and consistency. But I want to talk about something very practical. Many of us need English for work, writing emails, giving presentations, or talking to a boss. How do we make business English easy? It sounds so formal and scary.
That is a very common fear, Julia. But here is a secret. Rule number 10. Simplicity is professional. Many learners think they need to use big, complicated words to look smart in an office. But in reality, the best business communication is short and clear. If you can say it in 5 words, don't use 20.
Really? So I don't need to use words like notwithstanding or henceforth?
Please don't. Your boss is busy, your clients are busy. They want to understand you fast. Instead of saying, I am writing to inquire if it would be possible for you to provide me with the document, just say, could you please send me the document? It is polite, it is clear, and most importantly, it is easy to write and easy to read.
That makes me breathe a sigh of relief. So focus on the message, not the fancy words. What about music? I love English songs. Can I really learn from them?
Music is rule number 11. Emotion is the glue for memory. When you learn a word from a song you love, it stays in your brain forever. This is because music uses the rhythmic part of your brain. My advice? Find the lyrics to your favorite song. Sing them out loud. You will learn pronunciation, vocabulary, and slang without even trying.
Alex, we are reaching the end of our journey today. We've shared so many rules, but if someone is listening right now and they feel like they want to give up, what would you say to them?
I would say rule number 12. The journey is the goal. Learning English is not like a race where you cross a finish line and stop. It's like growing a garden. Some days it rains, some days it's sunny. You might not see the flowers today, but if you water your garden for 15 minutes every day, the flowers will come.
That is beautiful, Alex. I think I was so focused on the finish line that I forgot to enjoy the walk. English isn't just a skill, it's a way to meet new people, hear new stories, and see the world differently.
Exactly. Be patient with yourself. You have already done the hardest part, which is starting. Remember our checklist. Use it, don't just study it. Chunks over words, consistency over intensity, simplicity over complexity, and most of all, keep your heart in it.
Thank you so much, Alex. You have made the mountain look like a beautiful hill that I can actually climb. To all our listeners, thank you for being with us. You have the tools, you have the rules. Now, go out there and be imperfectly amazing.
Well said, Julia. Keep flowing and keep speaking. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye. See you in the next one.